Addressing and fighting corruption on the continent's illicit financial flows as well as peace and security. These are some of the areas the 54 AU member states will be discussing in great detail for the duration of the summit.
Nigeria's Foreign Minister Geoffrey Onyeama spoke to SABC's foreign editor Sophie Mokoena on the sidelines of the summit.
It's really a question of the building blocks, towards attaining a corruption-free Africa. So there's the issue of treaties and legislation. You have to have in place your laws and acceding to international conventions. So he's calling on member states to, to sign up to the African Union's, legal framework, anti-corruption framework. Mauritius has just done so, and is, I think, the 40th country to have done so. So, that's, one thing. Then also calling on countries to set up anti-corruption agencies, and we have that in Nigeria, and we're willing to sort of, to share best practices with other countries. Then targeting various sectors of the society, so the youth in particular. So there's going to be a very big youth event that is going to take place in Nigeria, and all the African heads of states will be, invited and informed about it. And then, various, stakeholders. It's something, of course, that cuts across, all sectors of society. So we really need, as he puts it, all hands on deck. Everybody has to key into this initiative, and so all the other stakeholders, the importance of a strong, independent judiciary, the police, and also targeting the financial institutions outside Africa and within Africa. So the whole issue of illicit flow of funds are things that we're also addressing, and there's a UN resolution on that Nigeria helped to champion. So all these initiatives, of course, the media has to be on board as well. So he's pretty much going to detail some of what he's been doing. And today there's going to be a panel discussion, actually. So he's actually going to be, during the Council of Ministers segment, I actually gave a detailed presentation of everything that's been done up till now and what's planned to be done in the second half of the year. He's not going to go into so much detail. He's just going to give an overview of what he's been doing and then introduce the panel. And, of course, they will now discuss the issues of corruption.
You spoke about illicit financial flows out of Africa. The former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, chaired the high-level panel on illicit financial flows. And there were recommendations in terms of what needs to be done. But it looks like there's no political will from the African leaders to implement what's in that document.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. We're not going to get anywhere without the political will. And part of the objective of having this AU initiative is to try to help to bring about and encourage that political will, because that's absolutely important. And it's not just in Africa. We also need the political will from countries outside Africa. To also be have a certain oversight and laws with respect to their nationals doing business and other things in Africa, but also with respect to the restitution of funds that have been identified in financial institutions in foreign countries. There are so many obstacles and hurdles that countries have to, navigate and go through just to be able to recover what rightfully belongs to them. And so part of the initiatives of President Muhammadu Buhari is to try and get a lot of these countries to make it just less difficult for restitution of funds to African countries, because these are funds that we need for development. So
to repatriate the funds and whatever was taken out of the continent, Nigeria is working on a program to get what is duly belonging to the Nigerians in terms of money that was taken out of Nigeria. How far is the process?
It's very long, very tedious, and very frustrating. With the Swiss, we've managed to recover some funds, and but with a number of the other countries, it's proving extremely difficult. And also with the Swiss, what you also have to pay, to get the money back, because you have a legal system that you have to get lawyers from that country, and just the administrative process and the fees that you have to pay. It's it's quite amazing and really unfortunate in many ways, because you kind of think that you want to get everything that belongs to you back, but at the end of the day, you're actually forfeiting almost 15 to 20% of that, and that's just very, very hard. So these are all parts of the things that we have to address in getting those countries in which the funds reside to really be a lot more supportive.
Africa doing business, member countries doing business among themselves. One of the critical issues is this free trade agreement. South Africa, Nigeria, and Egypt had reservations. Have you been able to engage the member countries in terms of your concerns, and how far is Nigeria in that process?
No, we don't have reservations per se. What we wanted to do was to have a more comprehensive consultation process within Nigeria. So for instance, we had the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. They had some concerns. So it was important that they understood what the treaty was all about, and the provisions, the safeguard provisions that were within the treaties. So what we've done is to have a very comprehensive engagement with all the stakeholders in the countries. And Nigeria is a federal state, so not just at the federal level, but at the state levels as well, and all the various sectors of the economy. And so that at the end of it, we can then sign on, but better informed.